What is up everyone, Socrates 101 here, and today we are going to be playing battle number 2 with our squad. This is once again the NU Hazard stacking team. In the previous episode, you could have seen that it works very well, and that it's sometimes that the previous episode basically was based around that this team really does what it does. If you haven't watched it, I would really recommend checking this team out. If you like this team, the paste bin will be in the description. And if you want to hear why I built these certain sets, why I did these certain things, please check out the team builder. It should be somewhere on my channel. I probably won't leave that in the description because I will forget that the majority of time. And we're just gonna go from here. So we're playing Evil Klefki today, and I sure do not like his name. That's something we have to keep in mind as well. He's probably gonna lead with Rattata. I am not too fussed. I'm just gonna lead with Garbodor. We will go from there. And the only thing I kind of fear is this thing, which is his Barbaracle. I forgot its name, so I had to check it right there. But he's level 1 Rattata. That is very annoying. But what he can do is just basically set up my hazards, as he does not have any way of removing those, so that's really great. He's going to do a lot of damage to himself with the Rocky Helmet, because he probably is going to go Endeavor first turn, and as he does do that, so he's going to take a little bit of damage, and now I should be able to just take him out with a Drain Punch. There's no reason for me to go for a second layer of hazards. I can just go for Drain Punch right here, and actually do a lot of damage to his team, even if he does decide to switch. I'm probably only going to get up 1 layer, but I don't really need Garbodor for anything else in his team. It would be nice to keep around for Mega, I don't know, but I do think I have ways of dealing with that. There goes his Rattata, so we gain 1 solid %. Hopefully he does switch out into something which has an attacking move, but he probably doesn't. If he goes into Fion, I'm just going to switch into my Hariyama. If he switches into something that's physical, well then I'm just going to stay in and let that take an awesome lot of damage with the Rocky Helmet, with the Aftermath. Amazing stuff like that. So that's what we are going to go from there. Just going to start the timer, because I would prefer keeping these videos a bit short. I'm just gonna go for the Gunk Shot, as that is going to probably take out Pikachu, because Pikachu is very frail mon. We're gonna see what kind of Pikachu this is, because I think you can run both successfully, but the majority of Pikachus are physical. So he does go Knockoff, which is not great play on his part, as that actually does do an awful lot of damage to him. 306 base Spade probably. I do think that Choice Scarf Scyther should be able to knock it out, and I'm just gonna click U-turn from there. What I could have done is actually, that was not the best play I could have made. I should have basically gone, I can see that this thing is either thing, not the Dutch accent, thing. I should have gone into Seismitoad, where I should have gone up my rocks, because that does a lot of damage to his team, and everything is going to take 24% on switch, 25% on switch in every single time. So that's just really great. That's what I should have done right here, instead of just going for the kill. But I just decided to do that. Maybe what I can do, I can try and set it up right now. But this probably baits him going into Fion. Fion. I don't know how to pronounce his name. I've never been up to one of these, and I've never actually seen someone who actually speaks the English language pronounce this, but I think it's Fion. I'm just gonna go with that from now on, because otherwise I have to pronounce it 3 times every single time I say it. That's kind of redundant, isn't it? So that's what we're gonna go for, and we are not looking too bad. Once more, this team is not looking too great either. For some reason, every single time I play, I face decent opponents and everything is great, and as soon as I start recording this, then I face this. Shouldn't say shit though. Maybe this guy is really good and he's just hiding it very, very well. I do think that Seismitoad is actually my check or my counter to this, so I'm not really sure why he would do such a thing. And I do think even if he doubles his speed to like 500, I do think Scyther still is able to outspeed. Not 100% sure about that, but he's not even White Herb, but he hung in his focus band. That's alright. If he's Adamant, Scyther outspeeds, otherwise he's not. And here I can just go for Scald. I cannot go for a Razor Shell or whatever because I do have Water Absorb. Stone Edge probably won't kill me. No, it won't kill me. I don't think he learns any grass moves, so I guess I'm good. Seismitoad is like a hard ball to Barbarical. It's alright. I don't want to go Stealth Rocks just yet because I don't want him to sap. But basically the fact that, oh my god, he went Razor Shell. This is the second battle in a row where someone goes a water move on a Seismitoad. Even if he would have killed me, I still had the Hariyama, so that's great. I could have just gone Fake Out and killed it, or even BP from there. It didn't even matter. But I don't think he has an awful lot of switch-ins for me right now. I do think that the combination of Hariyama... See, there we go, there's the forfeit. It's very unfortunate. I'm just gonna edit it out until we go to the next battle. So here we go, this is our second battle. This team doesn't really look all that threatening. As well, he has a lot of water absorb things. He has 2 mons weak to it and a lot of water absorb. Well, Dry Skin, this is probably unaware. This is probably not great either. Kinda. I do think this might be lead Jinx, so I'm very tempted to lead with Hariyama. He could very well lead with something else like Auroras or something, but I do think Hariyama in general has a very nice matchup against his team. Oh my god, I casually checked Twitter. That did not happen. I'm just gonna close the tab real quick so that won't happen again. It's basically a thing I do. He is going to lead with Auroras, and what this allows me to do is just straight up go for a close combat. Sometimes it's just better not to click that, and maybe if he switches into Quagsire, that's going to be great, because then I'm going to get off a nice hit on that. He doesn't have safe switch-ins. Maybe he's going to predict a Fake Out or whatever, and then I can just get off a close combat on something. If he stays in, I have Thick Fat. He's not really that much he can do to me. If he goes for a physical attack like Body Slam, it's alright. As I said, I do have Thick Fat, so it's not that big of a deal. He goes into Quagsire, that doesn't even 2-hit KO. Hariyama, you are a disappointment. But this actually allows me to get up a bunch of hazards, as this guy also doesn't have hazard removal. Seeing that he has a Jinx and a Rapidash, I do think that my Stealth Rocks are going to be of more importance to me than my Spikes. I do like Garbodor a lot, but I mean Seismitoad is going to be a bit more useful right here. If he wants to go Toxic, that's fine. I don't really need my Seismitoad for anything particular, so it's gonna work out great. If he wants to go Toxic, it's alright. If he wants to go Scald, that's even better. So this allows me to get up my rocks. Unfortunately for Quagsire, I don't know why Quagsire doesn't get rocks, but it doesn't. I really would give that thing rocks. It just doesn't get it. Very unfortunate for him, but I don't even think he has rocks, or Auroras has to have it. Should have the Stealth Rocks. I do think that every Rockmon should definitely learn rocks. This allows me to go into Garbodor, and I can get up a Toxic on anything, and then I can start setting up some spikes on my own. This enables me to get off at least at least 25% on every single mon. So he's basically letting me set up these hazards, and this allows me to get off a Toxic on something. As I said before, poison types cannot miss Toxic, unless the Robotnikman lies to me, which he doesn't. He's a very honorable man. He doesn't lie like that, especially about the Pokemons. So what I can do now is just get off the nice and Toxic on the Quagsire. He's gonna go Earthquake, that's alright. I don't care, it's not... Oh, I don't have... what I could do is go Drain Punch and then go for Spikes. I think I'm gonna do that, so I'm just gonna Drain Punch right here, get a bit of HP back, and then we're just gonna go from there, where I just proceed to get up Spikes, and this will put me in a very solid position against his team. So I regain a bit of health, which allows me to live the next Earthquake. He doesn't even go for Earthquake, that's alright. I can just go for a layer of Spikes. Usually Garbodor actually carries either Drain Punch or Seed Bomb, so it's very surprising that I didn't switch out, considering that I could have very well gun for Seed Bomb, as my team doesn't even have any grass coverage, so that's something maybe I should take into consideration. But Garbodor is great the way it is. That's the only thing I could possibly recommend you doing. I could go... I'm just gonna go for another layer of spikes because he's probably gonna stay in, and we are gonna go from there. What is Mesprit? Yeah, Mesprit does have Energy Ball. I do have grass coverage on my team, so that's very stupid that I set that. So we are just gonna go for some solid damage on the Mons, and this allows us to do a lot of stuff to his team. Basically what we can do is just go into Mesprit, fire off whatever we want to basically. Jinx is like his only switch into a Psychic, and it doesn't appreciate all these hazards. So we are not in a bad position, ladies and gentlemen. This is looking very solid. So what it can do is just fire off a Psychic. Quagsire doesn't do an awful lot to me. Maybe he wants to stay in, but I don't think he actually wants to stay in. Maybe he does. As I said, I'm very low up the ladder, and but this toxic damage is really going to rack up. Maybe the Life Orb Psychic is actually going to take it out, because I do think this Quagsire is max HP, max defense. Maybe, yeah, there we go. Life Orb Mesprit, ladies and gentlemen, coming through. I do have 283 speed, which isn't great. Which is base 80. That's the only thing that's a bit disappointing about Mesprit. I mean, look at these stats. It's pretty ridiculous. Base 80 HP, base 105 in all the attack and defenses, and then you have a base 80 speed. The only thing that's a bit unfortunate is, of course, its speed stat. But I mean, it's very bulky. It's very powerful as well. 105 in the attack and special attack department is very impressive, giving it a nice 308 special attack. I mean, Mesprit, you are amazing. But I am very happy with not having Psyshock on this Mesprit. I do think it's better for the current meta, because well, I mean, otherwise I would have just clicked Energy Ball. Probably, but I don't think he has any switch-ins for this unless he has Quick Feed or Ursaring, but then I can just predict his Protect and go into Seismitoad, which doesn't get one hit KO'd, I think, by a Facade, and then I can just return back with an Earthquake. The only thing I need to remember, which I tend to forget, is Freeze Dry, which is not a great thing, which is definitely not a great thing. Freeze Dry on Aurora is just completely one shot. I felt very safe staying in with my Aurora, with my Seismitoad on an Auroras, and then it just freeze dries and it Okos me because it's quad super effective. It's not something that's great. I should just immediately switch to Hariyama. I mean, he has no switch-ins for Hariyama as well. Every single time I bring it in, basically claims a kill. I don't know how bulky Maractus is, but he goes for Crunch. That is very odd. I'm just gonna go Earthquake. I mean, it's the only thing I can do. He's probably Quick Feet. He could very well be Guts, but I think Scarf Scyther still outspeeds this thing. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. I do think Fake Out Hariyama can do an awful lot to this Ursaring as well. With the toxic damage racking up, Seismitoad can probably take a hit. So I mean, basically, I do think that Hariyama can actually clean up after this kill. It's a pretty impressive team, especially low ladder. I mean, these teams are not standard. Nothing on this team apart from like Jinx and Quagsire are standard on this in the competitive, the high competitive scene. Well, basically people that know what they're doing won't use the majority of these mons. Maybe Quick Feet Ursaring will fit their team every now and then, but definitely Maractus is not something you're going to encounter a whole lot. Auroras just has and does not have the best of typing. It can occasionally sweep, that's a given, with the Rock Polish set, which and the Hyper Voice Refrigerate, that's an alright set, but it still has that quad weakness too. Bullet Punch and Hariyama is very common in this tier. It's not a great Pokemon. especially being quad weak to fighting as well, as in the higher department of the ladder. You are going to find things like can't speak for a second, couldn't speak for a second, but like Scarf Sock, stuff like that, which is going to pose a lot of problems to your team. Well, Scarf Sock or Bandits, every kind of fighting type really poses a threat to this team, because Jinx has base 35 defenses, I think. Quagsire cannot take 2 from Bandit Sock. This gets one shot at, this gets one shot at, this gets one I do think Maractus. I don't know anything about Maractus, so we are just gonna data that real quick. Maractus. So there we go. Doesn't have the best of HP stat nor attack stat, so this is a learning process for me as well. Maractus is not something I encounter daily. I don't know anything about it. I don't even know what it does, but I do know it has Water Absorb and Storm Drain. I didn't even know it got Chlorophyll, but I really wouldn't recommend using Maractus on a sunny day team since it's probably inferior to things like Blossom. Mons that can actually use Chlorophyll, Shiftry, stuff like that, that can actually benefit a lot from it. I do think that base 106 special attack is very impressive for a mon like that, but base 60 speed, I mean, you can do a lot better. But this guy is not making any moves. You can come at me if you want to, but we both know that this isn't going to work out for you. Maybe he has realized that maybe he's just gonna cry in the corner. That's what I would do. This is basically the part where we win. Where we win with this team. What we have seen today is as soon as you get up your hazards, then this team has such then this team has a nice core, then this team has a nice balance of offense and defense, where the opponent cannot really do an awful lot to you. Sometimes you need to keep alive your Garbodor, but we haven't encountered those mons that you need your Garbodor for. Basically, that is for the fighting spam. If they're a choice, then the Scyther with the Crot resist, then Claydol can take a couple of hits. But basically, for your physical attackers, you really want to keep Garbodor alive to get some chip damage on them, allowing Scarf Scyther to clean them up with an aerial ace or even a U-turn. So that's this was quite the disappointing episode in my opinion, but I still think we learned a lot about the team, seeing that Mesprit is just straight up power. Thanks for wasting my time, buddy. Give him the face real quick, give him the PK face. But as I said, this team just needs to get up hazards. As you saw me play around, he just basically gave me opportunity by leaving in his Quagsire to set up hazards in his face. The Scald on his Seismitoad, I could got up my rocks. He missed the Toxic. Well, that was unfortunate on his part, but that basically allowed me to go into Garbodor and set up one even 2 layers of Spike and get off a Toxic on his Quagsire, which I forgot. I completely blanked on the fact that I did have Energy Ball on my Mesprit, so I should not have done that. That would have allowed me to get up 3 layers of spikes. And as soon as you see that your opponent does not have any hazard control at all, you always lead off with just you look at the team and you lead off. Well, Garbodor is going to have a nice and free Spike, or Seismitoad is going to have a nice and free Stealth Rock on this guy's team. So basically what happened is that he led off with... What you can do then in that scenario is where you don't know what to lead with, you can just lead with Scarf Scyther and just U-turn out into the mon that you need, and then you can start setting up hazards. He led with Aurorus, which is probably his rocker, which is the only thing that gets Stealth Rocks on his team. So Seismitoad wasn't the best of leads right there. Hariyama, as we saw from team preview, just had a really nice matchup against the majority of his team. The only thing that kind of threatened it was Quagsire, and then we can just set up hazards. So hopefully you learned that this team, as I said, is just hazard stack. Get up some hazards. His offensive threats, you basically have something to wall it with. You have a Seismitoad, you have a Garbodor, you have a Claydol. Those cover each other really well. Those check each other's weaknesses very well, and then you have a nice offensive core, a fast and bulky core with the Hariyama covering the weaknesses that this team lays with the fire spam. This team would kind of struggle with fire spam if you did not have Hariyama, but Hariyama is just nice there to fill up the holes, give this team some nice ass priority, alongside some nice stab moves. So that's going to be it for this episode, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next battle. Peace.